Hello, it's day 74 of a screenwriter's journey. I'm actually have started putting these up on YouTube right now. Not many views, but one like, so got that going for me. Day 73 ended with me talking about this situation of the overnight element where nothing was going to happen until the next day. So I'm starting day 74 back early in Act 2. So this is August 8th, it looks like. Why is the FBI involved? I'm trying to see what's going on here. So I might be setting up a little change in the story here. And I'm just having, obviously, Gary and Abby rifle off a series of questions to Paul. And again, it's the old thing where it's not like question, answer. It's just question, which sort of gets across their state of mind, kind of their growing desperation, and the fact that Paul either can't or won't answer their questions. But still, it can move the story ahead. So, yeah, once again, they've called Holly in the plane. They're trying to guilt her into coming back. And I guess here I'm just trying... I'm trying to do something a little different with a dialogue, obviously, to get something out. To get something out. That's a real meaningful thing. To have Holly kind of start to come clean a little bit about why she's doing what she's doing. Yeah, I'm just seeing what's going on here. Moving ahead quickly. I'm just making some little changes. So now the idea is that Paul has told Holly, called her and told her that they're going home. And so really not much has changed here. Just talked with that Paul guy. Bringing up the question of why didn't Holly call Paul, or when she was talking to him, say, hey, I'll come back and do this. So we know that Holly has got, something is up. She's kind of playing, not really playing both sides, but she doesn't want everyone to know exactly what she's up to. I told him at least you could give him some so I'm still working on a good explanation that Paul could give Holly that would, even though she's already coming back, to make it seem like, there's just playing with my microphone level. There's a reason that she should come back in his mind. And so here at the top of page 45, I'm just working on just something. It's just so funny. But trust me, eventually I'll land on what I think works, because this doesn't work, obviously. I mean, it just doesn't work. Plus, I mean, not only does the concept not work, but the wording doesn't work. How he says it doesn't work. I mean, I'm worried he'll take over. That's... Okay, now I'm starting to get something there. He wouldn't tell me how far they're willing to go to get Salerno. So I think I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking to myself as a writer, Jack, what would really make Holly come back, even though she's basically come back? What would really get her engaged and interested again. And I'm thinking, well, if the FBI is so invested in getting Salerno that they're literally willing to sacrifice, maybe not sacrifice Lexi, but not really guarantee her safety and sort of maybe put her in more danger than she should be, or you would normally think the FBI would let her get in. So I haven't changed it yet, but a little birdie told me that there may be more changes coming to this section. I think I'm pretty. I should have gone home. You're hysterical and pretty. Okay, yeah. So this is getting acceptable, I believe. All right, I'm skimming ahead. So nothing is changing here. The whole Salerno discussion with the others. Paul told me everything I need to know. Okay, so right now when she lands, there's the 5 FBI agents, including Noble, and then Hogan comes, and Noble, he's in the sedan. He's just sitting in there. Holly gets off, talks to Noble. But it's, as I said, it's kind of weird when you know that something's going to change. And yet I'm commenting on what I wrote, which at the time I'm like, well, this must be pretty good because I haven't changed anything substantially. Hogan. Let's give him a first name. Nick. I gave him the name Nick because in the pilot version of the script, when it was called No Accident, there were 5 friends actually, because Lexi, you never really saw her much because she had something happen to her. But anyways, Nick was the 4th friend. So in a nod to Nick, I named this guy's first name Nick. So, yeah, the problem here is it's still not quite working to me, because would they really, all these FBI people really show up knowing that all that's going to happen is Noble is going to say, hey, you're riding with him, and then Hogan is going to take her somewhere? I mean, it's kind of movie-ish that the head FBI guy shows up and is a real jerk and everything, but in real life, would he even bother? Probably not. And so maybe a bigger problem is, how would Holly justify bringing these kids up? So now, as you see from that dialogue I'm writing, I'm starting to formulate an idea that it might be realistic to think that these 2 kids might get on social media or at the least, tell their parents. Social media is more likely, and really start, flapping their virtual gums, if you will, and really screwing things up for the FBI. So Holly's dialogue isn't perfect because I don't think flapping their gums is something that's really said much anymore. Maybe it is, but flapping their gums is like a super old thing, and then social media obviously is relatively new, so that doesn't go together. But it's got me on the right track. And then we go to the VIP thing. We cut to the hotel or the motel, and it's sort of, hopefully humorous, the juxtaposition of VIP and then Motel 6. Okay, they haven't made any positive ID yet. So this I don't know. This is still a little weak that on the one hand, Holly has said, look, I'm just bringing them up here, and so they don't spread the word. I'm going to keep an eye on them. So they really don't need to serve a purpose, but maybe Paul is, or Hogan is thinking, well, maybe they can serve a purpose. But on the other hand, would the FBI not already have pictures of them somewhere? Maybe they wouldn't. I think I was speaking about that before. I mean, think of yourself, listener, viewer. Would the FBI have a picture of you? Would have they requested one and gotten one this early on of Larry and Lexi? I mean, would they already have something of Lexi because she's in the witness in WITSEC, or would they not because she is? Good questions. All good questions. Now what am I doing here? So I'm still fighting this scene here. Holly is making it sound like she's going with Hogan, which she assumes she is. And Holly realizes from Hogan's question, what? That she's not. But again, does it work? Leave a comment, subscribe, and like. I think one person subscribed to my channel. So that's good news. Which, I mean, I don't really care. It's just cool that you have. But this has nothing to do with the script. If you are watching this, I mean, word of mouth is the only thing that's going to get this going. I'm posting notices on Facebook and scriptrevolution.com, but that's not going to do anything. So spread the word with your writer friends. Yeah, I'm always looking at the page count to see if what I'm writing is adding pages. And right now it's at 109, which is, I mean, it's not bad, but it's probably a little longer than I want. So Hogan's line about if it's any consolation, this is where your replacement will be staying too. That's a good line because he's kind of trying to mollify her, but yet saying, hey, this is what it is. But his line at the bottom of 58 is, I don't really like it. If you think of anything useful. So they've got his business card, which may come into play later in case they need to call him. And then Holly comes out. So this has changed a little. Instead of her kind of dragging him outside or taking him outside, he leaves him in there, and then she comes out and goes up to his car door and gives the bit about I'm not leaving. And I'm not sure if that, where the cursor is right now, comes across as too cliched, not without the girl. That's how a professional actress will deliver the line. I'm not here to sit. She swore. Tisk tisk. Oh, I got away with it. Or I got rid of it. So Hogan somehow knows that Holly, Noble probably told him, look, this lady's going to be here for a little while. Let her do basically nothing to mollify Paul, and then we'll get rid of her. But then when she tells him that she's not leaving, then Hogan goes into the Better Call Dibs part. So he kind of realizes that, either Noble didn't understand or, this is a brand new twist. So he is at least telling her now. Obviously, he's giving exposition that we're learning that Noble has no intention of doing anything until tomorrow morning. And so furthermore, Hogan says, and I think this is all right because Holly's exasperated, but so is Hogan. So he's just dumping all this information on her to kind of A, pacify her, and B, get her out of his hair. That there's going to be a bunch of agents coming in the morning And so they're all going to live happily ever after. So I could drive you to the airfield and the kids and get you out of here and, get you on your way. Noble never has to know that they were here or that you had a change of heart. I don't know. I guess he has to say that for now because Noble does know that Holly was here. He doesn't know anything about the kids. Will that change? I don't know. Regardless, Holly rejects it sort of out of hand. Okay, so I don't think this scene has changed. I do like that Parenting 101. Okay. Now let's see if anything's going to change here. So we're still in this thing of Holly wanting to find out where they are, and the ongoing question is, what's she going to do about it? Is she going to really go after them somehow? Is she going to convince Hogan that the two of them are going to go in, or what? So it's a little bit. I mean, I guess I like the idea, and it's one of those ideas that I've literally been hanging on to for many drafts of the story. And as I've said, sometimes that means it's not working if you just keep going over and over and over the same part. Okay, here. Oh, I thought I was going to change that dialogue more than I did. I kind of wish I left, or I had a microphone when I was actually writing this and I was giving out loud kind of thought process, because 5-6 weeks later it's hard to remember exactly what I was thinking when I changed this dialogue. But let's see. I must be thinking hard because I've got it in blue. Not live on that. What are the chances? Gets an idea. So nothing much changing there. Wow, I could really see where this could get very, well, I don't know about boring watching, but why would somebody want to watch this? I don't know. Maybe, like I said, new writers, people who just wonder kind of what the script writing process is, maybe they would. I do think that college students would get something good out of this. That will be my next market I will try. So you're going to start your new one. None of this would have happened. Or we could do nothing. Yes, see, I like this. I like that. The tension back and forth, Gary sort of blaming Holly coming back to some extent, and Abby playing the peacemaker. Not yet. Oh, yeah, so we still have Justice Martinez calling, which is admittedly a long shot. I guess it could happen, and it may be one of kind of, again, those movie things that, a Supreme Court justice is calling Miss Normal U.S. Marshal lady. I mean, it works in terms of a dramatic, I was going to say dramatic license. I'm taking dramatic license, but as sort of as a thing to really kick the story along, the idea that she would call. But are the bad guys closing in? Because that's what's supposed to be happening right now. So the idea that Martinez has an 18-year-old daughter. Whoops, that's the end. That's the end of day 74. just a lot of reworking, rewriting, some little bit of new stuff, but all within, I think, current scenes. Nothing brand new. Making, I think, a few preliminary changes that are rattling around in my mind and may lead to bigger changes down the road. Speaking of the road, there's at least one more signpost ahead. It says, Day 75. See you back here then.